Alright. Poo family. I'm coming in here naked. And if you think I'm talking about clothes, then you don't really know me anyways. um, I want to talk about something that I feel like Spirit has really been revealing to me a lot lately through personal experiences and personal journeys. And I just want to share that. Because I think it's important that we realize that when we self has a message, we are not the only one with that message. We are not some special, singled out version of God that we're the only one that got the message. Okay? I think it's important to realize that this and we are a collective ecosystem of God, Goddess, Absolute's memories. So by the time it beings in our head, first of all, think about all the space it had to travel to even translate into our awareness where we can be like, I'm getting a download. And think about how many people or vessels it had to pour through to finally get through to you. So again, I just want to make a disclaimer. I do identify as a mystic, as a priestess, as an empress, as all of those things. But I also identify as a human, here walking horizontally with you. And I just want to say, first thing I want to talk about is labels, okay? The things that we identify ourselves as, especially here in this American tradition, when we're in America and speaking English. There was an incident yesterday where I pretty much asked my aunt that I haven't spoken to a lot, but we've been around each other on and off all my life. And long story short, I asked her if she was to see me in a grocery store or walking down the street or something and she didn't know me. And I'm obviously, dressed and doing what I do. Like, what would she call me? Like, what would she think I am? Like, what do I do? And how would you categorize me? Or would you not even try to categorize me at all? She says, with the most serious face I've ever seen, she goes, I would just think you're gothic. So I was reminded in that moment to be patient and have compassion, because another thing we must realize is that even though we've reached this level of awareness and certain things seem so obvious, it's not so obvious, okay? So I proceeded to ask her, do you even know what Gothic is? And then, it was like this, because, I experienced self on levels, where it's like my human self talking, and then my inner child talking, and then the council of me's talking, and it just echoes into these layers, right? So I asked her, I was like, do you even know what Gothic is? And then self asked me, do you even know what Gothic is? And then God, Goddess, Absolute asked the collective, do you even know what Gothic is? And you can replace Gothic for any word that you use to describe yourself. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. You should go look it up, where that word comes from, especially if you identify with being Gothic, and especially if you identify with being Gothic and you identify as being a Nubian brown-skinned person. So it just confused me, because I was like, first of all, you're stereotypical Gothic. And when I asked her what she think Gothic is, she's like, yeah, it's a person who wears all black, and they got piercings and tattoos and stuff. And obviously, I got piercings and tattoos and stuff. So it was like, I'm compassionate in the sense where it's like, I see, barely, where you could be getting your ideas from. But at the same time, I wanted to be like, how educated are you on language? And then again, it was that example of me asking her, but then my inner child and my inner self asking me, and then God, Goddess, Absolute asking the collective. It was like three echoes. And it was like, how well versed are you on this language that you speak so fluidly? And what I noticed is that people who talk the most people who talk the most in society usually have the less knowledge about the language and the words that they're speaking. And it really be shocking me, like, it surprises me sometimes, because especially in the last, I would say more consistently in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been really trying to investigate and decode language, numbers, mathematics, frequency. Okay? Because the words that we know, like, the universal truth that the words that we speak are creating our reality. But what Spirit showed me a lot recently is that not only is it creating our reality, but when we say words like I am, and we proceed to, say what we are, we begin to wear that words. Like a wardrobe? This is like a wardrobe. We're wearing those words and those identities and those frequencies on ourselves like light bodies, like light rays, right? So even if you're joking and you're saying things that you really aren't, oh my God, I'm sick and tired, oh my God, I'm dead, like stuff like that. I feel like as an alchemist, I can say it now for the purpose of an example, because I have a certain intent and awareness for the purpose of the example. People like, I'm sick, I'm dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a joke because they're just joking. They are then wearing those identities on their self, on their body, like it's a wardrobe. And what I noticed is I started seeing people just being out. I'm looking at people, looking at the words that they are wearing on their clothes, listening to the things that they are saying, I am, they are, we are, and literally seeing their bodies shape and conform to these words that they are using on themselves. And I'm like, oh my God, shit's really getting crazy out here. So, and the reality is, when you say the words I am, they are, or we are, they are, we are, you're wearing all of those words on yourself. And if you're saying something to somebody who has a very susceptible and receptive, honestly, let me just keep it straight up and say a weak and unaware type of vessel, then they can begin to wear those words too that you are casting onto them. But if you're dealing with an alchemist, a real life alchemist, not somebody who just read the book, then they know how to catch those words when they're being thrown at them and alchemize it back up to work for their rise, which is what I did when my aunt was like, you're gothic or something like that. And, I want to close that off and just say I really encouraged her in that moment to just know what the words that you are saying mean. Look up the etymology of it. Look up where it comes from. And hey, know how to do your magic. And know that your subconscious mind, that even when you're talking to it and you're joking, like, you're still identifying with the things that you're saying. And even in this time, I feel like, oh my gosh, the words are getting so powerful. And I was wondering, like, because I kept seeing this thing go around on Instagram, and it was like, empaths and super spiritual people are going to be talking less and like engaging less with people. It's just the vibe that's happening. And I don't know why, but first of all, I do know why. Let me say this first. Spirit showed me why that is, because people really don't know what the fuck they are saying. They don't know what the words are saying that they mean, and they're just throwing them around carelessly. Which is a reason why, first of all, I identify with Astarius Miraculi and his vocal harmonics, because he's not saying any words, but the sounds are carrying tones of their own that are speaking louder than any English language I've ever heard. So I like listening to binaural beats, didgeridoos, or even when I'm speaking, sometimes I'll talk and commune with people who are closest to me through melodies. No words, just sound vibrations, feeling, intent. So boom, that's that. And I figured that that's why the post was going around. Like, a lot of people who are on this wave already, um, are seeing how words are not only affecting them in their reality even more, because they always have been, but also the people that they're around and that they're communing with. Okay? So let me say that. And let me take a deep breath. And let me say this. If you are one of those people that you're a high priestess, you're a high priest, you're a natural mystic, you're an oracle, you're all of these things, you have downloads, you're in tune with your gifts, you share them, don't be discouraged to stop sharing your message. Even if you don't feel like regurgitating and saying the same thing over, repost some of your old messages that you've been saying years ago, because time is relative. And once you accelerate your chi and your frequency, you realize that you start to be ahead of a lot of people, and some of the stuff you were already saying 2 years ago, people are just coming into the awareness of right now. And that's okay. But I would say do not be discouraged to keep sharing your message. Especially if you know that, look, you can be the smartest, most magical being in your whole household, on your whole block right now. But if 80% of the people around you are still lost, are you really doing your job? Are you really doing what you've been called here to do? Or are you stuck in your ego of saying, come to me, I got the message, I got all the good juju? And if you are a teacher, let me challenge you to say this. When you are doing readings for people, when you are doing healing sessions for them, are you also giving them the tools of how to apply that same magic within themselves and be able to do their own readings, be able to read their own self better? Or are you giving them enough knowledge to where they'll keep coming back to you and depending on you? And that's a red flag to look for in this time. Everybody wants healing, and just know at the end of the day, the beginning and the end of the day, you have that power within yourself to be your own healer. I'm going to say it straight up. For anybody that I've ever done a healing session on, anybody I've ever done a reading on, do not, I repeat, do not depend on me to be your source of healing. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, you can't count on me for that. Do not call me every time something's going on, every time there's, this is happening in my life, because I won't be there. And I'm just being honest, because I'm healing on my own path too. And if you applied the tools that I gave you during our healing session, then you'll know exactly what you need to do, and you don't have to depend on me. Now, accountability is different. You just want to talk and see if the synchronicities you've been experiencing in your life is aligned with the synchronicities that I've been experiencing over here, to build. That's beautiful. But do not count on me to be, your healer every time you need me. I'm sorry. I'm going to say, are you doing your deep breathings? Are you focusing on your breath? How's your diet? Are you still eating artificial foods? How's your alcohol intake? Are you still smoking lots of tobacco? What time do you wake up in the morning? What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Giving you the tools to where you don't have to depend on me or anybody else. Okay? But that's not saying that we don't need a tribe. That's not saying that we don't need a tribe of people to be accountable for each other. But this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it at this. We are our own healer. All the tools and the access to downloads, ancestral messages, sound, sight, senses, elevating your frequency. You first have the tools already inside of you to have all the messages that I have. And this is another thing. Any spiritual leader who tells you that they have more and are more than you and you cannot reach their level of awareness, run the fuck away. It's not healthy, okay? I'm here to tell you everything that I know, everything that I be, everything that I vibrate and resonate with, you can be too. But what I am going to say is that it takes work and it takes discipline. I know a lot of people are out here promoting this free-for-all spirituality where there are no rules, where there is no balance, there is no foundation. I'm here to let you know there is a very much so foundation that is in place and has always been in place, and it's called Ma'at. And people like me, and you, hopefully, if you're watching this, are here to restore Ma'at within self, within our reflections, and within this world. Anybody who's telling you that this world is undisciplined and a free-for-all, anything is anything, I've been having a lot of reflections, and a lot of people that I really trust dearly and just really resonate with saying the same message. There's a lot of false prophets out here. There's a lot of false prophets who are trying to keep you inside of a specific cage of dependency on them or their product or what they have to offer, and not giving you the tools that you need. But you have it within. I'm telling you, something as simple as mindful deep breathing 20 minutes a day uninterrupted can get your psychic abilities to the next level in a short amount of time. But you have to do that work. I can't do deep breathing exercises for you and you reap the benefits. It's not possible. I can do it. Anybody else can't do it for you. I can do you tarot reading every day for the rest of your life, but if you never apply what's being told to you, then you'll never experience it. Some people tried to be in their spiritual path for a month and was like, I don't see any difference. Like I'm out of this. But it's like, were you really being disciplined, or you thought it was a joke and some instant gratification thing? A lot of people want instant gratifications. They want results today, but they're not even putting their all into it for real. And I don't even want to speak too much on those people. This is what I want to speak on. There is a large amount of us out here who are being the catalyst and the guinea pig and at the front. You want to talk about front lines. Let's talk about the people who, let me just say that. Let me say this. One of my spiritual gifts is lucid dreaming, decoding the dream, and being alive and aware in my dreams. I can create whatever I want when I close my eyes and I'm lucid dreaming. It's vivid. It's been that way ever since I was a kid. And this time, Spirit has been showing me through my dreams who is who and what is what. And all I'm saying is this. When you are on the path and you are walking on the path for real, you will start hearing a lot of the same messages from a lot of very distinctive type people, and you'll know exactly what you need to do. You don't have to watch YouTube videos for 10 hours a day just to try to find some truth when it's already inside of you. It's already inside of you. And guess what? It's not too late. Do you know how long infinity is? You know, you might not be as accelerated as her over here, but you're on your own path. This is another thing that I've been seeing, and I know this video is longer than I intended it to be, but maybe I'll make it 2 parts. Another thing that I have seen is people capitalizing off of other people's fear. There are people scared out here, and there's beings out here capitalizing off of their fear. Somebody is scared. They're dealing with, extreme anxiousness or depression, and you're supposed to be a healer, and the only thing that you have to offer them is a black onyx rock and some evil eye charms. Like, for real, I'm talking about in 2020 with the level of awareness and downloads that are coming out that can really help people with depression and anxiety. And you're trying to sell them a rock? Bro, what the fuck? Like, Like, I ain't trying to get too hyped because it's still early in the morning, but I be looking and like, is this what our world really came to? You say you a healer, bro. You got thousands, tens of thousands of followers. And the best thing you have to offer people for their depression and anxiety and lack of awareness is a rock and an evil eye charm. What the fuck is wrong with people? Let me just say that. Let me also just say this to provide a solution. If you are dealing with anxiety, depression, and lack of awareness, this is the first thing that I would prescribe to everyone, and it's free. Deep breathing, uninterrupted, every day, preferably in the morning when you first wake up. When you wake up out of your bed, you brush your teeth, you stretch a little bit, sit down, do some deep breathing, set your clock for 20 minutes, and just focus on your breath for that time. As your senses are rebooting, as your body is rebooting up, you can harmonize anxiety and depression. You can harmonize it with peace within yourself just from doing that. I don't need to sell you a rock. I don't even need to sell you any of my service. However, let me insert my commercial. I do tarot and oracle readings. I teach yoga to adults, kids, and elderly. The youngest person I've ever had in my class was almost 1 year old, and the oldest person I had was over 60. I don't charge for yoga classes. I charge for oracle and tarot readings, but I've done plenty without the charge. The thing is, when you truly feel abundant and you're truly connected to the energy that you're trying so desperately to make everybody else that you're really connected to, then the currency flows in. And if you're having a real issue in life and you're going to somebody who says to have all this compassion and can help you, then the first thing that they should offer you is not something that costs anything other than what's already inside of you. That's the biggest thing. Your breath is free. Your breath is free, and it's the most powerful thing. Your breath is more powerful than any rock, than any charm, than any juju bag, than any candle that people are trying to sell you. It just gets aggy because let me just say something. And you know what? Since I'm on a rant, I don't care. I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't care about offending people, and I don't care because everything is me. Sometimes I be seeing people with tens of thousands, 100,000 followers with spiritual advisors or psychic advisors in their bio. You scroll through and you're like, what is this? People have turned spirituality into some like Gaia TV, like some commercial ads. Like, a lot of these people out here, let me just say this, a lot of people out here that you call your spiritual healer don't know what the fuck they're talking about and haven't even healed themselves yet. So this is what I'm here to promote. Not, hey, all of those people are trash, come to me, I'm the best healer. I'm not going to claim that. I'm still working on my own stuff. Like, nah. But what I am going to say is focus on your breath, on your breathing. If you have high levels of anxiety or depression, then the fact of the matter is you probably hold your breath a lot. There's so many free YouTube videos out there about breathing techniques. And if you would just practice the breathing techniques, you will see such a change of the results in your life. But people want instant gratification, and it's kind of weird, bro. Like, spirituality, you want to be at this certain level of spiritual mastery, but you don't even want to put in the work. You want to just have a crystal on an altar in the book, and then you expect some changes to happen in your life. This thing is not about any of these materials, bro. So think about this, first of all. When your physical body perishes away, all of the material items that you acquired cannot go with you. So if you're going to a healer for something non-physical that you are dealing with, depression, anxiety, and they prescribe you a physical item and never even mention your breath, do you see where the disillusionment is? say we start calling people out, or it's only gonna get worse. I say if you know the truth, speak your truth and share it, because you can know all of this stuff in the world, but if you aren't sharing it freely, meaning if everything that you offer people have to buy something for you, then you a fraud. And you're not really out here for the people. You're out here for your own egotistical boost. This shit is mad lame. And it's like, I'm trying my best to stay encouraged, because I challenge anybody who say that they are a real spiritual healer and they got some real spiritual gifts, then ask your God about people like me. Ask your God about people like me. Ask whoever you talk to about people on this frequency for real, for real. Know the red flags and the things to look for. Don't get it twisted. Like, I have this I'm very in touch with my inner child. And sometimes my voice or my attire or my art can come off very, very, very childlike. And I'm proud of that. But don't think that anybody who's in tune with their child makes them lesser than you. There's a reason why a lot of the creators will let you know that, you know, in order to get to heaven or to be in the resonance of heaven, you have to be in touch with your innocence. Life isn't all that. Life isn't serious all the time. It's okay to wear colors. Still shocked my aunt called me gothic. I don't even wear black. I don't even wear black all the time. But I'm going to stop there, because I've been talking for like 27 minutes, and I can go on and on. And here's my bottom line. The tools that you need to self-heal are within you, and they're free. There are physical items out here that can help you along your spiritual journey only after you've tapped into that which is unseen, which is not physical. And after that, take some deep breaths. You owe it to yourself to take some deep breaths. Get some oxygen into your body. You're depressed or you're anxious because there's a restriction happen. You can loosen that restriction that's in your arteries, that's in your blood, that's in your brain, that's in your emotional body, that's in your mental body with breath. Be mindful of the people that you call your healers or you go to for a spiritual advice, and start calling them out. Hey, it is what it is. 2020, baby, clear vision. I came in here with no makeup on so you can see me. I'm confident about the things that I speak and the things that I promote because I've been through it and seen it work. Seen it work on me first, seen it work on people closest to me, seen it work on babies, seen it work on elderly. And I have to show you nothing. Unless you want something. Like I said, I got a couple things. I make art. What you need? What you want? Like, shit. But I'm gonna end right here. I love y'all. I'm speaking out because I care. Talk about caring about humanity. I'm here with the truth to say, and know that there are many truths. So this is my bottom line. There are many truths. Align with the truths that most resonate with your beingness, and be more disciplined. Discipline. Ma'at.